is Mystery Meat's Fine Dining podcast, helping foodies discover new restaurants and new friends. Here's your host, the founder of Mystery Meat, Seth Ressler.
Hello, and welcome to Mystery Meat's Fine Dining podcast. I'm your host. My name is Seth Ressler. This is the podcast for foodies who love travel and travelers who love food. Basically, we go to a different city every week. We talk to a food blogger or somebody else who is really knowledgeable about the local food scene, and we talk to them about their city and get a restaurant recommendation. But this week, we're doing something that's a little bit different. We're going to talk to Emma McCarthy. She's the director of operations for Lovin Spoonfuls in Boston. They're a great organization. They're doing some really exciting things. We're going to talk to her about that, and they've got this really cool event coming up. But before we do, I want to mention Mystery Meat, which started in the city of Boston, started about 2 years ago. It's a social dining group. It's a bunch of foodies who get together to have a meal at a restaurant with other foodies. But there's a catch. And the catch is they don't find out where they're going until 24 hours in advance. So you have to be a certain type of foodie. You have to be pretty adventurous. You have to be into this. If you're gun shy, this isn't the right thing for you. But if you like meeting other foodies and you like trying great new restaurants and great new food, this is absolutely the thing for you. We just held our very first Mystery Meat dinner in the city of San Francisco. It was at Beast in the Hare, and it was a lot of fun. If you want one of these in your city, all you have to do is go to mysterymeat, meet.org, click the big orange button that says get an invitation, and we will start a Mystery Meat dinner soon in your city, and we'll make sure that you're invited. All right, let's talk to Emma McCarthy. Emma, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much. Excited to be here.
So you're the director of operations over at the Lovin Spoonfuls in Boston.
I am, yes. I joined in June.
So tell me a little bit about the organization. I know they haven't been around that long, but their mission is really cool. Tell me about it.
Sure. So Lovin Spoonfuls is a nonprofit food rescue organization. So what that means is we pick up food from grocery stores, farmers markets, produce wholesalers, and restaurants around town, food that would otherwise be thrown away and wasted. We then deliver it directly to local crisis centers, soup kitchens, and shelters in the Boston area.
So how big a problem is food waste?
It's pretty huge. It's something that often goes by unnoticed, but when you really look at the statistics and read a little bit more about it, it's pretty shocking what's going on. Currently, it's estimated that about 40% of all of the food that's produced in America goes straight into landfills. So that's about 100 billion pounds every single year just in the U.S. alone.
That's a lot of food.
Yeah.
What is the problem of hunger in this country when we're wasting this much food? How big is the problem?
Well, when you think about it, and what I said before, that there's 100 billion pounds going to waste, when you counter that with the fact that 49 million Americans are classified as food insecure, so they really don't even know where their next meal is coming from. That would be about 1 in 5 Bostonians are classified as food insecure as well. So that kind of puts it into perspective. And really what Lovin Spoonfuls is trying to do is to build the bridge between abundance and need. So there's no lack of food out there. It's just redistributing it and rechanneling it to those who need it.
So what's the difference between a food rescue organization like yours and a food bank, which I think a lot of people are familiar with?
So Lovin Spoonfuls as a food rescue organization is a little bit different from your traditional food bank or food pantry model. Food banks work mostly with non-perishable food items, so they store boxed goods and canned items, and they then distribute it at a later date. For Lovin Spoonfuls, we work almost exclusively with perishable food items, so we don't have any overnight storage facilities. We just do a same-day service, so it's direct distribution. In the morning, we pick up food from our food donors, and then we deliver it that afternoon because we're working with foods that have a timeline, so fresh produce, lean proteins, and whole grains, all things that are perfectly edible, but we want to get them to the people who need them as soon as possible.
And are there organizations like this in other cities?
There are, yes. One of the biggest ones that Lovin Spoonfuls was actually modeled off of is City Harvest in New York City. They've been around for many, many years. They've got at least a dozen trucks on the road. They're one of the really big ones. And then there's also DC Central Kitchen in Washington, D.C. They're another one of our role models.
And I know that you guys have received a lot of media attention and won some awards since the organization has started. Let me give you an opportunity to brag a little bit here. Let's talk about some of the commendations that the organization's received.
Yeah, I mean, we've just been really honored to have that attention. And Ashley Stanley, who's the founder of the organization since she founded it in 2010, She's really been the main driver of the organization, and this year has actually been a really big year for us. When I first came on in June, we were just starting out at our Mass Challenge program, and Mass Challenge is actually a global accelerator program for small startups. And we're really honored to be a part of it because as a nonprofit, we're a little bit different from the other for-profit startups. And in May, we were selected to be one of the 125 finalists for this program out of about 1,200 applications, I believe. And we were actually just honored last week to find out that we have been narrowed down and selected as one of the final 26 winners.
Wow.
So we're pretty excited about that.
Congratulations. That's fantastic news.
Thank you.
So if people want to get involved or want to help, both people within the city of Boston or if there's people outside of Boston who want to know more about food rescue, how can they find out more or how can they help?
So our website is a really great source of information, lovinspoonfulsinc.org. We've actually got a resource section with some FAQs about food rescue and kind of what you can do. We love having volunteers help us out at events. And so, we always love to hear from you. We also oftentimes hear from people who are trying to set up their own food rescue organization in their own hometown. So we'll hear from people in other states even, just trying to get some advice on how to get things going in their own town.
All right, let's talk about the big event because I'm excited about this. This sounds like a lot of fun. This is the second annual Ultimate Tailgate Party. And I know it's happening on Sunday, October 28th, so it's coming up pretty quick. Tell me a little bit about it. Tell me what happens there.
This is the second year, as you said, that we're doing this event, and the second year that it's going to be at Sam's Restaurant. So Sam's is right on the waterfront in Boston. It's a great location, and we just really use it as an opportunity to bring together our community of local supporters and also hopefully get some new exposure to the organization. And it's just a good time to bring everyone together and enjoy some really good food in a casual setting while supporting our cause. Since everything that we do revolves around food, it's really natural that our benefit event should also be very food-focused. So we're very excited to have this great lineup of chefs.
Well, that makes sense. So I know tickets are $100. What does my $100 ticket get me?
The $100 is a 100% tax-deductible donation to the organization, and you'll be able to enjoy all of the chefs' tasting stations. So it's a dozen different local chefs and all of the access to the food plus drinks. There's going to be cocktails made by Sam's bartender, John Parsons, and also Josh Childs, who is from Silvertone and Trina's Starlight Lounge. There's also going to be a live auction emceed by Jenny Johnson of Nesson's TV Diner. We've also got a DJ. There's going to be lawn games and a photo booth.
And we should point out that Sam's is got a fantastic view, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the great waterfront places in all of Boston.
Yes, and it's going to be right on the waterfront. We're going to have a big tent set up, and that's where all of the chef stations are going to be. And then people will be able to go between the tent and Sam's and really mingle and have a good time.
So let's walk through some of the chefs that are going to be there. And I think you've got a really impressive lineup. I mean, this is a who's who of Boston area chefs. And let's start with one of my favorite chefs in the entire city of Boston, Joanne Chang.
Joanne has been one of our biggest supporters. She's actually on our board. Our Lovin Spoonfuls' very first fundraiser was actually at Myers and Chang. So she's just, one of our biggest mentors. Myers and Chang, if for those of you who don't know, it's really funky Asian diner in the South End. And then Joanne also has 3 locations of Flour Bakery and also a 4th coming later this year.
Great. And you actually worked at one of the Flour Bakeries, right?
I did, yes. I worked at the Fort Point location of Flour, and that's actually where I first learned about Lovin Spoonfuls and how that connection kind of came to be.
Oh, very cool. We actually at Mystery Meat have a long history with Joanne Chang as well. The very second Mystery Meat dinner that we ever held was at Myers and Chang, and they've been very, very supportive. And we should point out she is one half of, I guess, what you would call a culinary power couple there in the city of Boston, right?
Yes, so Christopher Myers is her husband, and they have Myers and Chang together, and he's been involved in many other restaurant ventures in Boston, so they definitely are the power couple around town.
So one of the most interesting facts I think about Joanne Chang is that I know that she actually went to Harvard and she studied applied mathematics and economics or something like that, right? I mean, this is a very, very smart woman who sort of had a career shift and decided she wanted to go be a chef, right?
Yeah, I think that it was just her calling. And she went through all of that school. I can't even imagine how you would even complete a degree in mathematics at Harvard. But from my experience having worked under her, she's just so completely passionate about the food and about putting out the best product around. And I think that her passion and her love of baking and of cooking really comes through in all of her restaurants.
And she's got a great cookbook, too, that came out a couple years ago, right?
Yep, and that was actually the first cookbook. Her next cookbook is scheduled to come out next spring. So the first cookbook was more focused on the sweeter side of what she does, so a lot of the desserts from flour. But then this next cookbook is going to be the more savory side of the flour menu. So sandwiches, soup, salads, that type of thing.
Oh, very cool. All right, let's talk about another chef, Jeremy Sewell.
Jeremy is another really big Lovin Spoonfuls supporter. He works at the Eastern Standard Kitchen, Island Creek Oyster Bar, and also Lineage Restaurant. He's actually on our board as well. He just really gets the Lovin Spoonfuls mission, and he's a part of some of these, busiest and most amazing kitchens in Boston.
Yeah, so Eastern Standard and Island Creek Oyster Bar, they're both right next to each other, and they're in the Kenmore Square area. So if you know the famous Citgo sign from Boston, that's the area we're talking about. Boston University's there. Fenway Park is very, very close. Lansdowne Street, where a lot of the clubs are, all nearby, right?
Yeah, it's a perfect location.
Yeah, so talk to me about those restaurants.
Island Creek Oyster Bar came out of the Island Creek Oyster Company, started out in Duxbury, and now has grown to be one of the most nationally recognized oyster distributors in the U.S. Just have some of the most amazing oysters you've ever tasted. So I'd definitely check it out if you're into oysters. And then Eastern Standard is just another amazing restaurant. They have a really, really great cocktail menu. If you're into drinks, the setting of the restaurant is really beautiful as well. It's got a really big bar. It's just a great atmosphere.
Let's talk about Douglas Rodriguez.
So he is the chef at Clio. Clio is one of the most famous restaurants in Boston. It's very flawless technical food along the lines of molecular gastronomy. It's just a fabulous meal, definitely a great place for a special occasion. You're going to get some really good food.
So he'll be there as well. He'll be at the Ultimate Tailgate Party. Let's talk about Colin Lynch.
So Colin is the executive chef of the Barbara Lynch Grupo. So she's got her own empire of restaurants in Boston. And he's actually not related to Barbara, even though that can be sometimes mistaken since they have the same last name. But we're really excited to have him be a part of the tailgate. He's definitely a quintessential Boston chef, and we're really excited to have him there.
Talk to me a little bit about some of the restaurants that are in the group, like Number 9 Park, and and this is one of those that I always mispronounce, but I think it's Menton. Is that right?
Menton.
I feel like you have to say it with like a French accent or something. You have to make it sound really fancy when you say it. Tell me about those places.
So Number 9 Park was her flagship restaurant right in kind of the edge of Beacon Hill and Downtown Crossing. It's a really, really great restaurant. I've always had amazing meals there. And then Menton is her latest venture. It's a little bit of a step up in price and in atmosphere. It's another one of those special occasion type restaurants, but really solid food and just very impressive.
Yeah, and when we say special occasion, we mean special occasion.
Yes.
Like this is like if I get my applied mathematics and economics degree from Harvard, this is where I'm going. Right? It's that kind of it's that kind of special occasion. Very cool. Talk to me a little bit about Jamie Bissonette.
So Jamie is the chef over at Toro and Copa, both in the South End. Toro is a tapas restaurant, very, very popular. Lots of small plates. It's a great place to go with a group of friends, if you're sharing, and just really, really great Spanish tapas. And then Copa is an Italian restaurant. It's very small and intimate and always busy as well. Jamie was actually on Food Network's Chopped competition, and he won an episode of Chopped. So he's got a local following and is a little bit of a celebrity chef around town. So he's just a really great guy, and he's been a big supporter of Lovin Spoonfuls since the beginning as well.
And what about Will Gilson?
We're really excited. His new restaurant is going to be called Puritan & Co., and it's opening this fall. It's definitely one of the most highly anticipated restaurant openings in Boston. Will used to work at the Garden at the Cellar in Cambridge, and I know that he's been really busy lately getting ready for his own restaurant opening, so we're just excited that he's agreed to come and cook at the Tailgate and give some of his time to the organization.
That's really nice of him to do that then. Talk to me about Andy Husbands.
So Andy is the chef over at Tremont 647. He is well known for his barbecue. He wrote a cookbook, a barbecue cookbook called Wicked Good Barbecue, and we're excited to have him at the event this year. He's going to be bringing his own smoker, and I think we're going to get a good taste of some of his signature barbecue.
Oh, that's very cool. I love barbecue. I'm a big barbecue fan. So I would be so into that. Mary Dumont's going to be there as well. Tell me who she is.
So Mary's the executive chef over at Harvest. Harvest is a restaurant in Cambridge. It's been around for many years, and I think she's been the chef since 2007. She's another great friend of Lovin Spoonfuls, and she was also on the Food Network recently. She was a Next Iron Chef contestant in the season that aired in 2010. So we're very excited to have her as well.
Speaking of people who have yet to open their restaurant, you've got a chef named Alex Crabb who's about to open a restaurant, correct?
Yes, he is about to open his restaurant called Asta, and that's going to be opening up, I think, in mid to late November. And it's going to be actually another close to Kenmore Square on Mass Ave. So he used to work at L'Espalier, and we're just really excited to be able to have him at the event and showcase his food leading up to the opening.
And finally, the event's actually being hosted at Sam's, which, like we talked about, is there on the waterfront. So we would be remiss if we didn't mention the chef over there at Sam's, right?
Yes, Aza May. She is the home team chef of the Tailgate. Sam's are very generously hosting the event again this year. Asia makes fantastic food, and we're just really excited that she's going to be around and be able to participate in the event.
And there's one other person that we've got to mention who I think this is very cool that you have this person involved, Chef Nokey.
Yes.
Which is an odd name. I don't know if I would normally eat food by somebody named Nokey, but but tell me who that is.
Nokey is the executive chef of the Boston Red Sox team, and he's also most recently gained some exposure from his participation on Bravo TV's Around the World in 80 Plates. So he, I think, was the runner-up on that show, and he's definitely become a local hero because of that. So he will be contributing a dish for our VIP hour, which we're all really excited about.
So tell me a little bit about the VIP hour, because I know VIP tickets are $250. What do you get if you go VIP style? So
the VIP hour is going to be from 6 to 7 for the official start of the event at 7. And the VIP guests will be able to have this special plate from Nokey, and I believe he's going to be bringing mini lobster rolls. And we're going to have champagne and lobster rolls, and we're also going to have VIP gift bags full of swag and gift certificates and fun stuff from a whole bunch of different places around town. So the VIP hour should be a lot of fun.
So we aren't kidding when we say that this is, the who's who of chefs of Boston. I mean, you've got just about everybody here. This is a really impressive lineup.
Yeah, we're just, we're so excited that they're all willing to lend a hand and contribute to the event. I think that having this all-star lineup is definitely one of the biggest draws of the event. So we're hoping to get some interest from local foodies.
And, if that isn't enough big names, I want to mention two more that I saw when I was on your website. Two people who are on the culinary panel that I think a lot of people will recognize their names. One is Andrew Zimmerman from Bizarre Foods, and the other is Ming Tsai, who's a big name out of Boston and has his restaurant Blue Ginger out there.
Yes, Ming and Andrew have both been really big supporters of Lovin Spoonfuls, really since day one. And they've helped the organization gain a lot of exposure, especially in the early days. So they've been really instrumental, I think, in our success so far.
All right. Well, that's going to be a lot of fun. October 28th at Sam's. It's the second annual Ultimate Tailgate Party, and you're going to do this every year at the end of October, right? So if foodies want to travel and they want to get a real great overview of Boston, they could come next year, the year after, things like that, right? This is something worth planning your vacation around.
Yeah, absolutely. This is only year 2, so we're definitely going to keep planning and hopefully keep it going for the next few years at least.
All right, Emma McCarthy, you ready to play a game?
I am.
All right, here we go. This game is called Out of the Frying Pan. Here's how it works. I am going to ask you for a recommendation, and you're going to tell me the first thing that comes to mind. And there are no wrong answers here, but I promise you tomorrow you're going to wake up and you're going to slap your forehead and you're going to go, oh, I should have said blah, 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 blah. Do not email me tomorrow and try and change your answer. I'm not going to let you, okay?
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Bring it on.
Here we go. Boston is known for its Irish brew pubs. What's your favorite brew pub in the city?
Brew pub. I'm probably going to have to go with Citizen Public House. It's over in Fenway, and I really like the bar there. They always have a great selection of drinks and beers, and it's just a really fun atmosphere, especially being so close to Fenway and around Red Sox games.
That's an excellent choice. We held a mystery meat dinner there. We held like a snout to tail dinner with the whole pig roast.
Mm-hmm.
Great choice. What is the restaurant you want to go to for your next birthday?
That's a tough one. I think I'm going to have to go with Bon Dire. I've never been, and I've heard really great reviews, and I know that Chef Jason Bond is supposed to be a phenomenal chef, so I think that's probably what I would go with.
All right. Food trucks. I know that they're popping up everywhere. I know that they're becoming a big deal in Boston. Do you have a favorite food truck?
Probably have to go with Clover. The Clover food truck, they've got multiple trucks now and actually have a physical restaurant as well, and it's all vegetarian, but it's all really fantastic food. Lots of sandwiches, and my favorite would probably be the chickpea fritter sandwich from Clover.
All right, nice. Now, I know that you're a transplant. You're originally from Atlanta.
Yeah.
But you're a Bostonian now. Are you a Red Sox fan now? Have you converted?
Kind of. Coming from Atlanta, I didn't have all that much allegiance to the Braves, probably not as much as I should have, but I guess I'm kind of a Red Sox fan.
All right, we're going to indoctrinate you. Here's how it works. Repeat after me. Yankees?
Yankees?
Suck.
Suck.
Okay, good. Now you're a Red Sox fan. Where is your favorite place to watch a Red Sox game? Favorite bar?
Favorite bar to watch a Red Sox game probably would be, it's a new place on Salem Street called Vito's Tavern. They've got a really fun atmosphere and some good bar food. So I'll go with that.
All right, what's your favorite place to eat when you're on a budget?
Definitely have to go with the $1 tacos on Tuesday nights at Lover Dad. You can only get 5, but I think 5 tacos should be enough for me and for most people.
Very cool. What's the restaurant you go to most often?
Actually, even though this is a little bit out of the way from where I live, I have to go there. I probably go there more often than I should. It's the Highland Kitchen. It's up in Somerville, but it's just comfort food and really, really good food. My favorite would be the buffalo fried Brussels sprouts appetizer.
The buffalo? Wow, that sounds good.
They're really good.
I'm in. All right, last question. Besides your ultimate tailgate party, what is your favorite foodie event to go to in Boston?
Can I just say anything that Joanne Chang is cooking at?
That's fine. What else does Joanne Chang cook at?
She actually does a lot of different events around town. She's very, very involved in a lot of nonprofit organizations. She does a lot of work with the Pine Street Inn.
We should follow her on Twitter.
Yes, definitely. And she's huge on Twitter. She tweets all the time.
You know what her Twitter handle is?
It's at JB Chang.
She's going to have like 300 stalkers now, and it's going to be all my fault. All right. You did excellent. See, you were worried. That wasn't that tough, was it?
Is that it?
That's it. You're done. I promise.
All right.
You survived.
Thank you.
Good job. All right, Emma McCarthy. She's the Director of Operations for the Lovin Spoonfuls. If people want to know more about the Lovin Spoonfuls and they want to know more about the second annual Ultimate Tailgate Party, including where to get tickets, where can they go online to find out all this information they need?
You can always follow us on Twitter. We are at Lovin Food Rescue. That's Lovin Food Rescue. And then for specific information and also to buy tickets for the event, people can go to the Lovin Spoonfuls tailgate.eventbrite.com.
And we'll throw that link up on our website as well so that people can just click through and buy tickets. It's happening October 28th in Boston at Sam's, great waterfront place. Come on down, support a very, very good cause. And Emma, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
No problem. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
This has been Mystery Meats Fine Dining Podcast. My name is Seth Ressler. Couple of notes. First of all, if you want a mystery meat dinner held in your town, all you got to do is go to mysterymeat.org, click the big orange button that says Get an Invitation, and sign up. And when we see a lot of interest in your city, we will launch a mystery meat dinner there. Also, if you like this podcast, do us a favor, head over to iTunes and leave a review. Say something nice about us. If you don't like this podcast, don't do that. Just keep your mouth shut. Don't do anything. And finally, if you are a food blogger and you want to review a restaurant or talk about your city, come on the show. We'd love to have you as a guest. Just go over to mysterymeat.org and click the Contact Us link and send us an email, and we'd love to have you. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you next time.
This has been Mystery Meats Fine Dining Podcast. You can find links to the websites mentioned in this episode at mysterymeat.org/podcast. Thank you for listening.